We're going to complete this table using this function here and with the domain of 0, 1, 2, 5, 7. Once we complete the table, we're going to graph these points. Okay? Here's the thing you have to remember. This guy right here. The domain. What you have to recall about the domain is these are just another word for your x values. Okay? Another word for domain is your input. Another word for domain is your independent variable. And we talked about this our last Zoom. So I'm just reminding you of that. So essentially, because we have the domain, we have half our table done already. We have our x values. So I'm going to just copy these x values into my x table here. So 0, 1, 2, 5, 7. See how beautiful that is? All right, so now to complete the table, I need to find my y values. How do I do that? This is where this function comes into play. Okay, we are essentially going to take each x value, plug it into my function, do the math, and it's going to give me my y value. Once we have our x and y value, we can then plot our point. And that's it. So let's complete this table. So the first x value I'm going to plug in is 0. So you should have something like this. And then we do the math. 2 times 0, 0 plus 1, which gives you 1. Okay, so I'm going to put that in my y table here. And now, because I have the x and y for my y table in the first column, this actually can be turned into a point, 0, 1. So I'm going to plot 0, 1. Okay, so I put that in my graph. Hold on, let me let somebody in real quick. All right, now we're going to do the same process by plugging in the number 1. So let me erase this work. So let's plug in the number 1 in for x. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. So we now have 1, 3 I can graph. So that goes there, and then we repeat this process again. So I'm now going to plug in our next x value, which is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 1, that gives me 5. So now I have 2, 5. Let's graph this bad boy. All right. Got 2 more to plug in, and we're done with this problem. So we're going to plug in now, we're going to plug in 5, and that gives me 10 plus 1, which is 11. So we have 5, 11. All right, and the last problem, or x we're going to plug in is 7. Two times 7, 14, plus 1 more, 15. So we have 7, 15. See how fun that is? Isn't this so much better than doing nothing? You know you love it. You know you love this stuff. You can't wait to do more problems. All right, guys, that's it. That's problem number one. That's all we had to do. Okay? Really quickly, before I do problem number two for you, I want you to understand something. We can turn tables, just like this, into points, just like this, and points can turn into a graph. Okay? Which means we can work backwards. If you are given a graph, you could turn it into points, and then points can be turned back into a table. Okay? You're going to need that skill I just explained right now for your quiz today. Okay? Because part of your quiz is you're going to be given a graph, and they're going to ask you to turn it back into a table. So if you can do that, the quiz should be fairly easy. All right. Let's do number two. So I'm going to go a little faster here. I'm going to put in my x values of 10, 13, 14, 16, and 18 here. 10, 13, 14, 16, 18. Okay, now to find our y values, we're going to plug it into this Heinel right here, this equation. So let's do it. Y equals 1/2. Instead of x, let's plug in 10 first, minus 5. Okay, so before some of you students freak out because we have a fraction, very easy. If you have a calculator, you're not comfortable with fractions, to calculate this, do the fraction first. And what I mean by that, in your calculator, just do 1 divided by 2, and it should give you 0.5, and then you do times 10. Okay? So anytime you don't want to deal with the fraction, just do the math. Do 1 divided by 2 equals, and then whatever it equals, you multiply it by 10. All right? But essentially what we're looking for is what's half of 10? Or 1/2 times 10, that gives me 5. Bring down the minus 5. We end up with our first y value of 0. And let's repeat this process. We plugged in 10. Now let's plug in 13. Do the math here. Half of 13 is actually 6.5 if you calculate it correctly. 6.5, bring down the negative 5. If you do this math, you get positive 1.5. Okay. And then we just continue plugging in and doing the math. So now I'm going to plug in 14. Half of 14, or 1/2 times 14 is 7. Bring down the negative 5, you get positive 2. All right, next number we're plugging in is 16. 1/2 times 16, or half of 16 is 8, minus 5, that gives me positive 3. And last x value we have to plug in is 18. So let's do that. One half times 18 is 9. Bring down the negative 5. 9 minus 5 is positive 4. Okay, now that we completed the table, we can turn these into points. So this is 10, 0, which I can now plot on our graph. This is 13, 1.5. So 13, 1.5. So we go to 13 here, up 1, and then 1.5 is halfway. So right there. And then we're going to do 14, 2. 16,3. 18,4. So amazing. I'm sweating. All right, guys, that's it. That's essentially what you had to do for your assignment today from the calendar. I mean, there's obviously more, but before I give you the quiz, I'm going to go back to the calendar so I can show you where you're going to turn in the quiz. Okay? So I'll give you about 30 more seconds if you're still copying this stuff down, or if you want to take a screenshot, or if you just want to gaze into my lovely eyes for a little bit. I'll give you about 20 more seconds. All right, here we go. So we're going into our calendar for this week. Okay, so what you should be turning in today, if you notice, I added this morning. So if you haven't seen this since yesterday, this is our Zoom quiz. I'm going to give that to you in a little bit. It's 2 problems. It's due today. You're going to turn it into this link at the bottom, just like you turn in any other assignment, okay? The other thing that's also due is your notes from yesterday. So you had notes to do, which is from the second packet that you have in the calendar. All right, so check out the video notes and turn that in. Yesterday you should have done 1 through 12 all right? And hopefully it wasn't too bad. It's very similar to what we're gonna kind of practice today, okay? Tomorrow, you're turning in 1 through 8 from packet 1.4. So upload it tomorrow here with your corrections. The answers are here if you need the answers to check them. And then your quiz tomorrow, for Friday's quiz, is these 2 problems. One's from the 1.3 packet, one problem's from 1.4 packet, okay? Put this on one assignment, okay? Please label it so I know which one's which, and then you're gonna upload it to the link here at the bottom, all right? That's for Friday. So let's get back to today. Your Zoom quiz today, I'm about to put it on your screen. It's due today. Once you're complete and you finished it, you're gonna link it to this Zoom upload right here, just like you've done before, okay? And then if you finish that early, start working on the calendar stuff, start turning stuff in, okay? And then I will give you the access code. Let's see. Let's come back at like a 1:15 for the access code, okay? So don't leave yet because I haven't given you the quiz, but 1:15 for the access code so you could do your check-in for the day. Don't forget to do that or I mark you absent. So saying that, let me get you the Zoom quiz, okay? Just copy it down, show your work, and we'll go from there.